Charles Oliveira dominates Max Holloway to become the and new BMF champion of the world over 5 rounds to a decision. Just absolutely smudges Max Holloway, takes him down relentlessly every single round. Charles Oliveira gets Max Holloway to the mat and dominates him over 5 rounds. It wasn't the most entertaining fight. And as a Charles Oliveira glazer, all right, as a Charles Oliveira glazer who predicted him to win, I am disappointed in this being the BMF title and the BMF result that we had tonight. I was there live, obviously. I enjoyed the fights. There wasn't many finishes. I'm going to get into every single fight. I'm going to give my recap, my honest reaction to every single fight on this card, breaking out every single fight. But Charles Oliveira gets it done, becomes the and new BMF. We had a lot of fun fights on this card and a lot of boring ones. So before we go ahead and get into the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's get it started with the recap of the early prelim opener. Luke Fernandez versus Rodolfo Bellato opened up this card. Great first fight. Great first fight. I went with Rodolfo Bellato. I was kind of teeter-tottering back and forth, but, you know, as a Dana White Contender Series debut, you got to kind of fade him sometimes. And Luke Fernandez was a guy that doesn't have experience, 6-0 in his career, now 6-1, hadn't fought anybody of any resistance whatsoever, and Rodolfo Bellato has some resistance, so I picked Rodolfo Bellato to win. I thought he'd win a round 2 TKO. He got it done in round 1. Rodolfo Bellato, nice TKO. He landed a nice little check left hook when Luke Fernandez was coming in. He was blitzing in. He was really walking forward with no defense. Got clipped with the left hook, and then Bellato just landed nasty ground and pound, finishing him off. Really nice performance from Rodolfo Bellato, and he needed this one badly to keep his UFC career. So great win by Rodolfo Bellato. We move on. Wrong one. We move on. Rafael Tobias versus DR Nurgazai. Oh, man. Guys, you guys know I hate DR Nurgazai. This was a boring fight. This was a terrible, boring fight. I thought Rafael Tobias would do something. I thought he would push forward. I thought he would get the takedowns. I thought he would find a sub on a guy who's got a weird eye twitch that he still has from the amount of drugs and PED and stuff that he was on. He still has that weird eye twitch, but he seems to have fixed it a little bit. And Rafael Tobias just didn't do enough in this fight. He got beaten up on the feet. He got jabbed his face off. He was getting hooked like crazy. He was getting cheap to the body nonstop, and he couldn't get anything going. So DR Nurgazai won a 29-28 or 30. It might have even been 30-27. I don't remember. I think it was 29-28 decision. Boring fight. Rafael Tobias got a couple takedowns, just wasn't able to do anything with it. So DR Nurgazai wins a boring decision. We move on. Sumadarji versus Jesus Aguilar. Sumadarji gets it done over Jesus Aguilar by decision. Nice win by him. This was clean. This was what I predicted. 30-27 across the board. Easy win. Dude, there was this Mexican lady behind me that was absolutely yelling every single second that Jesus Aguilar took a step forward. And I was screaming at her. Because it was absolutely ridiculous. But Sumadarji got it done, man. I knew he would. I knew the reach would be too much. The kicks were going to be too much for Jesus. He wasn't going to be able to get in the pocket. And that was the case. When Jesus would come forward and swing bombs, Su would just back up. All right, back up. He could back up with his head in the air and his chin in the air because Jesus is just too short. His reach is just too little. So Sumadarji gets it done. He clipped Jesus with the jab. The jab was money. The body kicks were nice. The head kicks, he threw up a spinning wheel kick at the end of the first, I think, clipped Jesus Aguilar. So he was piecing him up. Really good win by Sumadarji. Gets it done. He's on a 3-fight win streak. Good for him. We move on to the prelims, the main prelims here. Alberto Montes versus Ricky Tercios. I picked Alberto Montes, and I picked Alberto Montes by round 2 submission, boys. Easy prediction. We cashed on this round 2 submission. I told you guys the anacondas, the Darce chokes are nasty from Alberto Montes, and he showed it off in the second round against Ricky Tercios. But the first round was a great performance from Alberto Montes. As a Dana White Contender Series alum, a new guy, a fresh guy in the UFC, I was a little worried to see how he would deal with somebody who's going to constantly march him forward in Ricky Tercios, but Alberto did great. He looked like a little Ilya Toro out there, man. He was bobbing, weaving, crashing with the elbows, looking really good on the back foot, staying defensively sound against a guy who's just marching him forward, and Ricky Tercios with no fear. Alberto was looking good, clipping him on the exits with the right hand. The elbow over the top was really nice in that first round. And then in the second round, Ricky Tercios made the mistake. I knew he was going to make a mistake and just go in for a takedown eventually, and that's what happened. He ended up going for a takedown. Alberto Montes wastes absolutely zero time. Arm under, locks in the choke immediately. within 2 seconds. Locks it up, drops the head, snaps the head down, and just starts rolling with the Anaconda. Beautiful submission by Alberto Montes. Puts Ricky Tercios to sleep and gets himself a performance bonus of the night. So did Rodolfo Bellato. Both of them deserved it. Every single person on this card that got a finish got a bonus. Deserved. There was only 4 finishes on this card. Terrible. But Alberto Montes, beautiful submission, puts Ricky Tercios to sleep in his debut. We move on. Dante Johnson versus Cody Brednich. Disgusting fight. I no words for this fight. Disgusting fight. Absolutely terrible performance from both Dante Johnson and Cody Brednich. All right, split decision win for Dante Johnson in a fight that was just disgusting. It was boring. Dante Johnson in the air like this. Cody Brednich scared for his life. You could just see the terrified look on his face, just panic shooting, throwing overhand rights, just like praying. This was a horrible fight. It was a horrible fight. I almost think Cody Brednich won the fight, even though he barely threw strikes. He won the first round, definitely with the takedown, was just grappling up Dante Johnson. Then Johnson was doing better in the second. But this was a shit fight. This was a terrible fight. Get these guys in the apex. They're bad. Cut Cody Brednich. Put Dante Johnson in the apex. We don't care about him. We move on. Cody Garbrandt versus Zhao Long. Dude, when I tell you, I was screaming at the top of my lungs. This was absolutely insane. I picked Cody Garbrandt, all right? And I picked him to win a knockout, but the decision will take it. But it wasn't because Cody Garbrandt won this fight. It's because he got kneed in the balls 3 times in a row, back to back to back. Sorry, knees and kicks. The first one was a kick. No, the first one was a knee. Second one was a kick right up the nuts, and Cody Garbrandt drops to his knees, gets in the corner, a ref brings in a bucket, and he starts yakking. Herb Dean brings in a bucket, he starts yakking in the bucket. We're there for like a minute, and Cody Garbrandt's just in the bucket, bro. And this is just like, everybody's like, no, he's throwing up, this is crazy. And then Herb thankfully takes a point from Zhao Long. Then we get a minute that goes by, and then Zhao Long does it again. He does it again. He kicks him again in the balls. And then Herb's got no choice but to take another point. So 2 points from Zhao Long. It ended up being 28-27 for Cody Garbrandt. He literally lost the fight, but won because he got kneed in the balls so many times. It was insane performance. Cody gets it done. Terrible fight as well. I mean, it was a fun striking match. Cody dropped him at one point. Zhao also was clipping Cody Garbrandt, controlling most of the time. But, dude... The cup shots were disgusting from Zhao Long. And he was pissed at the end, but he kneed him so many times in the balls. Like, that's your fault, buddy. But Cody Garbrandt gets it done. Another pick right, just not the way we wanted it to go. We move on to the main card. Where's it at? Gregory Rodriguez versus Bruno Ferreira. Boys. The exact same knockout as their first fight. Just flip the roles. Gregory Rodriguez flatline knocks out Bruno Ferreira in round 1. Brutal knockout. Straight right. Bruno caught him with the straight left in their first fight. Gregory Rodriguez catches him with the straight right down the pipe as Bruno's pressuring forward. They flip the switch. Gregory on the back foot rather than Bruno on the back foot. And Gregory just slimes him with the straight right down the pipe. Beautiful shot from Gregory Rodriguez. Puts Bruno Ferreira out cold. Nasty knockout. One-shot knockout. One-shot knockout. RoboCop's nasty. Very, very nasty. Got himself a bonus. Well-deserved. Disgusting knockout. 100K. Guaranteed. Great performance from Gregory Rodriguez. Not much to be said. He moves up the rankings. He's meant to be in the middleweight rankings. Good for him. We move on. Drew Dober versus Michael Johnson. Another one I got right, boys. This was a perfect prediction by me. Round 2 TKO for Drew Dober after getting pieced up in round 1 by Michael Johnson. He was getting his face jabbed off. It was a little bit tit for tat, but Michael Johnson clearly the faster fighter. I'm like, all right, Drew's heating up. He's waiting for that connection, man. He's waiting to load up and find that shot. I was like, overhand right for sure. I was telling the guy next to me, I'm like, just wait for Drew. All right, just wait. Let him find this shot because he's going to find it. And he fucking found it in the second round. Beautiful knockout from Drew Dober. Comes in, bobs, and then boom, overhand right, drops Michael Johnson, unconscious already, goes to the ground, follows up, one shot, bang. All right, the memes continue. The memes live on. Drew Dober, the motivation was there. He was mean, he was aggressive, and he got it done by TKO in the second round like I predicted. Cast us out. Beautiful performance from Drew Dober. Easy knockout for him. Good fight, though. Good fight. And I'd like to see Drew Dober fight a little Jalen Turner or something. You never know. Maybe Jalen Turner. Maybe Terrence McKinney. for the second time. But great performance from Drew Dober. Gets it done over Michael Johnson, a vet who's on a huge win streak. This is a good career revital for Drew Dober. Great knockout. We move on. Raul Rosas Jr. versus Rob Font. Cut Raul Rosas Jr. Cut Raul Rosas Jr. Disgusting performance. I lost my voice at that point. This was a terrible fight. An absolutely horrendous fight from Raul Rosas Jr. Rob Font was boxing the face off of Raul Rosas Jr. early, pressuring him, walking him down, and then Raul Rosas shoots a double leg, gets the takedown, does absolutely zero with it, and then everybody's like cheering, chee wee wees, and I'm in the stands, I'm like, boo, boring, fuck, boo. And everybody's cheering chihuahuas. People are around me. There's Mexican around me saying, fuck you. I'm like, bro, it has nothing to do with the fact that he's Mexican. It has to do with the fact that he's smudging him and having a boring fight. It was disgusting. And then the second round, same thing. Zero damage from Raul Rosas Jr. Only control for 5 minutes. Third round, same thing. Maybe like a minute on the feet, shoots a double leg. 4 minutes of control. Terrible from Raul Rosas Jr. With that type of performance, he's about to get himself cut. All right? We're going to talk about Charles Oliveira in a second, but with that type of performance, he's going to get himself cut. Zero damage done, zero finishing ability, zero attempt at finding a finish. He's on the mic. He's like, guys, I was going for the knockout, but Rob Font's a tough one, He didn't try. He didn't try to finish Rob Font. And that's where I'm going to get into with Charles Oliveira in a second. Raul Rosas Jr. showed zero urgency to finish his opponent. He decided to hug and control him for 10 minutes or 13 minutes of the fight. That was his decision. And now he's ranked top 10 in the world. I can't wait for Sean O'Malley to slime him out, for somebody to slime him out. Raul Rosas Jr. is a bum. I want him cut. I can't wait to see him get knocked out. Terrible performance. All right, we move on. Caio Borralho versus Reinier de Ridder. Another fight that was just like, dude, these 3 fights in a row were kind of just meh. It killed all the momentum. Gregory Rodriguez, brutal knockout. Drew Dober, brutal knockout. And then bang, 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 brutal smudge decisions, terrible decisions. But Caio Borralho gets it done over Reinier de Ridder. I picked Reinier de Ridder. I thought he would do better in the clinch. I thought he would clinch up with Caio, kind of bully him around, but Caio looked good. He did. He looked decent. Had his hands down, was doing this karate stance, just popping the shots way faster than Reinier de Ridder, not even close. I think he dropped him in round 1 with a straight right, and just kind of pieced him up. Didn't have much volume, but just dropped him in almost every round. Reynier's just too goofy. He's too goofy. He's too hittable. He's too slow. Caio gets it done over him by decision. And man, he's a decision merchant. He's a decision merchant. I think he's the worst fighting nerd nerd out of all of them. But he called out, who'd he call out? Oh, he called out Dricus du Plessis. Whatever. Let's just get DDP to goof all over Caio Borralho and just destroy him, all right? But Caio Borralho, I still don't think he's top level. I still don't. I really don't. I'm waiting. I think Whitaker beats him. I do. I think Whitaker beats him. I think Izzy beats him. I think Nasruddin obviously beats him again. I think Hamzat destroys him. I think Sean beats him. I think Hernandez beats him. I don't think Caio Borralho is top level, but he gets it done over Reinier de Ridder, who's obviously not top level, unfortunately. Good win by Caio Borralho. We move on to the main event. All right. Now, this is where I try not to be a hypocrite because Charles Oliveira had a very dominant performance. You can't say any otherwise. Just like Hamzat Chimaev's performance, you can hate it all you want, but it was dominant because Max Holloway did zero in this fight. Charles Oliveira won every single round, 50-45 him, outstruck him, outgrappled him, and almost subbed him over 10 times. So if you told that all to somebody, that's a dominant performance no matter what, all right? And Charles Oliveira gets it done and gets the BMF title. It wasn't a BMF fight. It wasn't a stand and bang, banger fight that, people call the BMF because Charles did what he did. He did his game plan, which was grapple Max Holloway. If Max gets back to his feet, strike with him, take him back down. And, they kind of expected that he would have some resistance, but Max Holloway had zero resistance for the takedown, had no response for Charles Oliveira's grappling, and Charles absolutely mogged and mauled him on the ground. Great performance from Charles Oliveira. Maybe not the performance the fans wanted. I was surrounded by Max Holloway glazers who were just yelling in my face every time I was hyped about Charles getting a big takedown because every single round, he picked up Max Holloway, judo throwed him, and tossed him on the ground like he was a baby, like he was a featherweight fighting a lightweight. Charles dominated him. He did. But I was surrounded by Max Holloway glazers who were pissing me the fuck off, who were pissing me off. Nonetheless, though, Charles gets it done over 5 rounds, 50-45 Max Holloway, gets the BMF title. The difference between his performance And Raul Rosas Jr.'s performance is even on the feet. Charles Oliveira was pinging Max Holloway. He was stinging him with the overhand right, with the kicks, with the leg kicks, with the knees in close. You know, he was doing very well on the feet. He just knew he could dominate on the ground because Max had zero solution. You know you're fighting Charles Oliveira, the best submission artist in the UFC. You should have some better resistance. He defended all the submissions. You know, good for him, but he got dominated by Charles Oliveira, and that was a great performance. And he tried to finish the fight. That's the difference between Charles Oliveira and Raul Rosas Jr. is Charles almost sub Max. In round 1, he had the back and was literally mounted Max Holloway, had his neck. Round 2, same thing, had his neck. Round 3, had his neck as well. It's in round 4 and round 5 where Max Holloway just didn't really give up his back, kind of just laid on the ground, and Charles kind of had him in half guard or had him in mount or a half mount. And that's where he didn't really go for submissions. But in round 1, round 2, and round 3, Charles tried to finish this fight every second of those rounds. You know, and Max showed that he had good submission defense, but he still got dominated. He got mauled. He got destroyed in every single round. He didn't win a single round. He got 50-45. So phenomenal performance from Charles Oliveira. It wasn't the BMF performance that I was praying we would have, but Charles still won. He still won. He's still my boy. He still won. And it opens up a world of opportunity because I think Charles could fight Benoit Saint-Denis for this BMF belt. I think he could fight Arman Sarukian for a rematch for this BMF belt. You know, there's a lot of fights to be made here. It would have been good to see Max Holloway win and rematch Ilya, but I am happy Charles won, and he did a very good job. Dominated Max in every single round. You can't deny that. Max just couldn't get up. He just couldn't get up. It was a Hamzat performance, but at least Charles tried to finish the fight and put one on for the fans. Tried his best, but good win by Charles Oliveira. That's my entire card reaction and breakdown. I went to this fight card live. It was an okay fight card. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to glaze it. It was decent. The finishes were nice, but we only had 4 of them. And Charles kind of smudged the end of the fight there. I still love Charles. I'm still happy my boy won. We got the BMF belt, and we are going to hold on to the BMF belt and become the best lightweight of all time, which we already are. But that's the entire video, boys. If you guys did enjoy the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, drop it down in the comments what you guys think about this entire fight card, and I will catch you guys in the next video. See you.